Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 80. It's Meet the Managers part 4, the final part of our annual Meet the Managers series. And in this last part, we will be meeting the creme de la creme, the elite of the managers in the Family Fantasy Football League, the top 8 managers in the league. Strap yourselves in, I'll be reading out honours galore. Although all 8 of these managers are doing their best to make a mockery of my ranking system based on their start to the season, but we'll get to that. So in this edition, we've got your game week 3 winners and losers. Just the one manager going into the transfer market this week, and I think I forgot to mention it in last week's video, but in game week 2, no less than 6 managers went into the transfer market. But it calmed down this week, just one manager making a transfer. I've got the banter of the week. It is still going banter crazy on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group, and I love it. Then, like I said, we're meeting the top 8 managers in the Family Fantasy Football League, and I've got a manager of the season update. Last week's question rolled over, was worth 2 points. Did anyone get it? So the game week 3 winners, one manager of the season point for these 4. Take a bow. Poppy's players, Sarah Simons. If you're going to have one, have a big one. Sarah was up to 11th this week, which is the highest she's been since the 22nd of October 2021. Almost a year ago since Sarah's been as high as 11th in the table. Take a bow also, Sweet Foden Line FC Tyler Bown, still being stalked by those two old blokes. Tyler climbed up to 9th in game week 3, and he scored a personal highest weekly total as well. And 9th is the highest he's been since the 14th of January. Take a bow also for the second week running, Coldplay United manager Martin Maloney. He climbed the table again. 7th, the highest he's been since he finished 3rd at the end of the 2020-2021 season. And the biggest game week 3 winner, take a bow, Megan Hoxley, Chamberlain manager Megan Hoxby. She got the weekly win in game week 3. She scored the highest weekly total of the season so far with 61, and she climbed a massive 15 places to go 6th in the table, which is the highest she's been since the 18th of February 2021. 18 months since Megan's tasted life in the top 6. And talk about girl power. The 3 game weeks have gone by, 3 separate weekly winners, and all of them women. Come on, fellas, what is going on? So they are your game week 3 winners, one manager of the season point to those 4. Your game week 3 losers, hide your head in shame. Returning manager, Thames Ironworks FC, Darren Ravel. Darren slipped to 14th in the table. You have to go back to the 24th of September 2020 for the last time Darren was as low as 14th. Hide your head in shame also, Greece Lightning manager Alexi Lagos. He fell to 21st in the table, and for all of Alexi's many seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, he has never ever been as low as 21st. Hide your head in shame also, great Uncle George Moody. Not such a great start to the season though, George. He fell to 26th and was the joint lowest scorers in game week 3 with just 14 points. And he was the joint lowest scorer with our final game week 3 loser, defending champion Hatch United manager Neil Hatch. Just 14 points in game week 3. Neil is down to 24th, and that's the lowest he's ever been in the Family Fantasy Football League in all his time in the league. So where they had a point, those managers lose a point. Banter of the Week was submitted by none other than debut manager on the buses, Sarah Goodwin. She put that meme on the Facebook group in response to the fact that I have launched myself up the table and am now hot on Sarah's heels, in the bottom half of the table admittedly, with the caption "Chairman's Choice" finally catching up with On the Buses. 3 laughing emojis, and that had the most likes on the Family Fantasy Football group, and I liked it. So 1 manager of the season point to Sarah for the best banter this week. Honourable mentions go to Simon Hoxby, who's been posting left, right and centre. Cheers, bruv. And I did also like Bantonio Conte's Barmy Armies, Niall Ponsford's meme about his reaction when Trippier was sent off for Newcastle, only for that red card to be overturned by VAR. Very amusing, but Sarah's one was the best for me, so she gets the manager of the season point. Now, meet the managers. And first up is that handsome devil, the 8th best manager in the competition, none other than Wayne Robinson, old Plier Taps himself. Sashhammer's FC manager, been in the Family Fantasy Football League. This is his 22nd season in the competition, and he's done pretty well in his previous 21 seasons. He's been a 3 times Family Fantasy Football League champion, and there's not many that have retained the title, but he did that in 2007, though that was the last time he won the league. He was the runner-up in the FFFL Cup in 2017. He's got the most weekly wins in 2006, 2007 and 2011, and he's had 3 Manager of the Month awards, but he used to be great. I'm not sure he is anymore, and he's had a poor start to the season, Wayne. Currently 17th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. He does hold a Family Fantasy Football League record. He's one of only 2 managers ever to retain the league title. Next up is our defending champion, rated the 7th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, Neil Hatch, manager of Hatch United. 22 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, and he's currently in the midst of his worst. It could be the worst title defence in history. He's a 4 times champion, 1998, 2005, 2018 and last season in 2022. And he's also been runner-up in 2001 and 2006. He was the FFFL Cup winner last year. He did the League and Cup double. Not many managers have done that. That was his only Cup success in all that time in the Family Fantasy Football League. He was the runner-up in the Cup in 2005. And he's been a Golden Boot winner no less than 6 times, including 4 seasons in a row from 2000 to 2003. Got a Golden Boot in 2018 and was a Golden Boot winner last season. He's had the most weekly wins in 2003 and 2005 and last season. And he scored the highest weekly total in 2015, 2021 and last season. He swept the board last season. And he's had an impressive 9 Manager of the Month awards. And he holds a number of records. The joint most Family Fantasy Football League titles with 4. No one's won more than that. The most Golden Boot awards with 6, and he has the joint most Manager of the Month awards with 9. No one has more Manager of the Month awards than that. That is Mr. Hatch. A legend, ranked the 6th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, none other than Mark Benwell, manager of Benny United. One of only 5 managers to compete in every single season in the Family Fantasy Football League. And of those 5 managers, Marky's stand out the best. 2 titles, 1996 and 1997. The first 2 seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, he dominated. He was a runner-up in 1999, 2012 and 2013. a cup winner in 1997 and 2011, and a runner-up on 3 occasions, 1999, 2000 and 2012. He scored the most weekly wins in 1996, 2002, 2011 and 2013. The highest weekly total in 1996, 2002, 2013 and 2019. And he's been the manager of the season in 2020 and last season 2022. And he's had 3 Manager of the Month awards in his time, which is quite modest. And, well, he is rightly ranked 6th in the Family Fantasy Football League because he is a manager that's had a lot of success. But it's fair to say that success is tailing off as the seasons go on. He does hold that Family Fantasy Football League record for being one of only 2 managers to ever retain the league title. He's the only person to receive the Manager of the Season award on 2 occasions. And he also holds the record for the most points ever scored in a single week. Back in 2019, he scored 224 points in a game week. That's never been bettered. Benny United start to the season. Well, he's down in 19th. It's not been good. He's going to need those £15 million in free tactical gambits that he earned for being last year's Manager of the Season. Next up, the 5th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, and a controversial choice from many. Jordan Williams, better known as Mad Hatter, manager of the Creed Bratton Society. 5 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. He was the runner-up in the league in 2019, and he won the cup in 2019 and 2020. And he got the Golden Boot in 2019. He got the most weekly wins in 2019. And in his short time in the Family Fantasy Football League, the Mad Hatter has picked up an impressive 5 Manager of the Month awards. He also holds a record for the most goals scored in a season. When he won the Golden Boot in 2019, he did it with 134 goals. That's never been bettered. And he's the only person in the history of the Family Fantasy Football League to ever retain the cup, which he did in 2020. A controversial choice, though, because Jordan has never won the league. But he's always up there or thereabouts, which is why he's ranked the 5th best manager in the league. And I say he's always up there. Well, he's currently 8th, which isn't too bad given all the other big hitters have had a really poor start to the season. The 4th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League is the other manager pictured there, Alexi Lagos, Greece Lightning manager. 10 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, definitely a veteran now. He's won the league twice in those 10 years, in 2014 and 2021. Who can forget the video he sent over from Australia accepting his award, which he presented, and we didn't realise until the end of the video, in his underpants. He was the league runner-up in 2015, and he was the cup runner-up in 2021. He's won the Golden Boot twice in 2016 and 2021. Got the most weekly wins in those years as well. And he scored the highest weekly total in the 2014 season. And he's had an impressive 5 Manager of the Month awards. But unfortunately, Alexi has had an awful start to the season. As you saw earlier, he's down in 21st place. And he's never ever been as low as that. And he holds the record for the most weekly wins in a season. When he won the title in 2021, he got 9 weekly wins in that season. That's a quarter of them. No one's ever got that many weekly wins in a season. Another controversial choice for a top 8 spot. The 3rd best manager in the league, James Holmes, manager of Better Than the Diamonds. And so far he has been. He beat his dad last year in terms of league position, and he's beating his dad again this season. Last season was his debut season, which is why many think it's a controversial choice to rank him as high as third. In that season, he didn't win any honours. He got a Manager of the Month award, but he finished third in that season, which is obviously his highest ever finish because that was his debut season. And it's really, really, really rare for a debut manager to finish the season as high as third in the table. And I say it's really rare. I was going to say it might never have been done before. I'm sure it probably has. But yeah, it's very, very rare. And he's had a great start to this season. He topped the league at the end of game week 1. He dropped down a bit last week. And then he's topped the league again this week. Currently topping the table. So he could well be the man to beat this season. And that's why I've rated him as high as third in the rankings. Next up, another Family Fantasy Football League veteran, ranked the second best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League. It's Darren Revell, manager of Thames Ironworks FC. 19 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, and he's twice won the league in 2009 and 2019, and he was a league runner-up in 1996 and 2020. He also won the Cup in 1996 and was a runner-up in the Cup in 2004. 4 Golden Boot Awards in 98, 06, 09 and 2017. He got the most weekly wins in 1998 and 2009. And he scored the highest weekly total in 1999, 2017 and 2020. And has picked up 6 Manager of the Month awards. And only 2 managers have had more Manager of the Month awards. But it's not been a great start for Darren in the league, currently sitting 14th in the table. Better than a lot, I must admit, though. And the master, the Jedi Knight of the Family Fantasy Football League, the number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, and he's been the number 1 rated manager since 2003, almost 2 decades. Steve Holmes, manager of Arden Diamonds, 22 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, and the list of honours goes on and on and on. A 4 times champion in 03, 08, 2011 and 2020. Runner-up in the league on 3 occasions in 02, 2016 and 2021. He's won the Cup twice in 07 and 2013 and was the runner-up in the Cup in 2008. 3 Golden Boot Awards in 07, 2011 and 2013. He got the Silver Boot in 2021 for the most assists that season. He got the most weekly wins in 2008, 2011, 2012 and 2015. He scored the highest weekly total in 2012 and 2018. And he's received 5 Manager of the Month awards. And he holds the Family Fantasy Football League record for the joint most league titles with 4. He also has the Manager of the Month award there. I didn't think that was right when it popped up. Steve has won 9 Manager of the Month awards, not 5. And he holds a joint record. He holds the record jointly for the most Manager of the Month awards with 9. And he holds the record for the highest number of assists in a single season back in 2020-2021. When he won the Silver Boot, he got 75 assists that season. That's never been bettered. And he is the number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League because in his 22 seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, he's finished in the top 4 on 14 occasions. That is why he is the creme de la creme and the man to beat. But maybe not this season. Steve is currently 10th in the table. Not as bad as many of the big hitters, but 10th by his standards is not great. Now, last week's Family Fantasy Football League quiz question. What was unique about the 2022 Family Fantasy Football League Cup final? 3 managers had a go at it last week. One of the managers was in the final. And they all got it wrong. So we rolled it over for a second week and it was worth 2 Manager of the Season points. 3 managers came back to have a go this week. Benny United manager Mark Benwell, desperate to retain that Manager of the Season title and win those £15 million of free tactical gambits to use next season. Mark had a go. Hatch United manager Neil Hatch had a go, and Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes had a go, and they all had the same guess. And their guess was, what was unique about last season's Family Fantasy Football League final was that both of the finalists resided in Canada. I can reveal that is the correct answer. 2 Manager of the Season points to Mark, Neil and Steve Holmes, and it means the Manager of the Season table looks like this. Mark Benwell has gone clear at the top with 12 Manager of the Season points. Megan Hoxby, who finished in the top 3 in the Manager of the Season table last season, she's second on 11 points. There's a clutch of managers on 10 points and an even bigger clutch of managers on 9 points. Lexi Lagos and George Moody dropping down to joint 7th for being game week 3 losers. There's a whole load of managers below them, but it's too big a table to fit on the screen. But there are other managers that are picking up Manager of the Season points that are closing the gap on those leaders who are, let's face it, on the league table because they attended the end of season presentation awards last season and therefore received 10 Manager of the Season points. This week's quiz question is a one that, well, if anyone gets it in week 1, I'll be amazed. So it's likely to roll on and on. But it's important that as many people as possible have a go this week, because based on the guesses this week, I will give clues next week if no one got it. And then, the more people that guess, the more clues you get, and then the more chance you've got of getting it right in future weeks. But the question is, how many managers have taken part in the Family Fantasy Football League over the course of its 28-year history? Okay, I'll read that again. How many managers have taken part in the Family Fantasy Football League over the course of its 28-year history? So lots of managers have come and gone over the last 28 years. You just got to tell me how many individual managers have taken part in the last 28 years. And that is your Banter in the Box for this week. We will be back next weekend for the Game Week 4 review. Until then, guys, take care.